This morning I want to read from the book of Romans 2:13 through 14. It says, "For merely listening to the law doesn't make us right with God. It is obeying the law that makes us right in His sight. Even Gentiles who do not have God's written law show that they know His law when they instinctively obey it, even without having ever heard it." And today I'm just grateful for my wife and my children and God's will and His word, and just another opportunity to be here and be alive today. Um, this particular this particular verse is very interesting. Like the way that the way that God has created all of us, I should say, right? Because even babies know right or wrong. Like it's something that's just put inside us from birth, and it matures over time and it warps over time, and it's in this particular verse, the way that the Apostle Paul was basically telling them, right? He was basically telling them that, you know, because back then, the Jews who had what they call the written law from Moses, they they were very strict on it, and they had, I can't remember if it was like 600 or 700, but it was like a lot, it was like a lot of different laws that they were supposed to sort of obey, and the Gentiles, who weren't Jews or who weren't, or original followers of the laws of Moses. Some of them were just good people, you know, like not all of them. Well, in the eyes of a lot of the Jews, especially a lot of the strict, like, sort of religious police, so to speak. They used to be heavy and hard on them. You know what I mean? Like some of them, they weren't even allowed in different parts of the city. They couldn't even be. They were basically forbidden and being outcasts. And Jesus embraced all of them. Jesus embraced everyone because he came to change the law. And this was something that the Apostle Paul was, because remember, the Apostle Paul was a Pharisee. He was one of those big, strict religious police. So he understood that more than everything, you know? And so what he was basically explaining was like when he converted and when he changed his life, he realized that there's a lot of people out there who are good people who aren't necessarily like following the law, And what he's saying to us is that they weren't good people because of the law. They were good people because that's instinctively who they are, you know? And, you know, it's so funny because I can't remember which movie I got it from, but it's something I always keep in the back of my head, right? But it's this quote, and it says that I trust everyone. It's the devil in them that I don't trust, you know? And, the world is full of some really bad people, don't get me wrong. I think that the enemy has shifted and warped, and you know some people have allowed him to take full control over their lives and do some really bad things. But I also think that there's always good in people, you know and I think that that's why God is able to forgive all sins, because you remember he sees us from the inside out, you know and I think that is something that we have to continuously think about, when we deal with persons on a daily basis, about the grace that we give them and the mercy and the opportunity to be a better person, the opportunity to rehabilitate. You see, Precious right there, I understand that a lot, you know what I'm saying, especially being like in the educational system, because just because a kid goes through a challenging period don't mean that you give up on them. The easiest thing in the world to do is to just give up on somebody because somebody else say that there's a bad seed, or that they convince themselves that they're a bad seed. A lot of time it is be these children convincing themselves that they bad seed because of what persons have been speaking into their life their whole life. You know, he's so bad, he's so this, she's so bad, or she is talk too much, or she troublesome. You know what I mean? And they just carry this without them throughout their whole life until somebody comes into them and speak life into them. Until somebody tells them, hey, listen to me, man. God see inside you, you know. You understand? And when he created you, you wasn't this. You know, you need to reset this clock back. You know, baptize, get back to who you was before the world corrupted you, before somebody spoke over your life, before somebody tried to curse you with this thing that you are bad or that you evil or that you is a dark person. And if you can't find somebody to do it, you try to be that person today. You know, just like what Precious said and Indira said, you know, bless somebody today. Speak life over them. Speak health into them. You know, remind them that they is wonderfully and beautifully created by God. So anyway, I won't take up any more time. I gotta start to get my day started. I got a busy day today. So again, everyone, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for, you know, just listening to me sometimes. And just thank you most importantly for praying to me, praying for me and praying with me, you know, and extending your blessings over each and every one of our lives. I'm carrying our language, my mic.